All right. Hello, chat. How's it going? Hopefully well. We're back. We're continuing with this very easy baby difficulty challenge that I have not struggled at all during, of getting the double S ranks in DMC 3. I have not struggled one bit. It's been so easy. We've been flying through it. One of the easiest games I've ever played. Absolutely. I don't even remember what mission I'm on. I'm gonna be honest. I don't know how many S ranks we are into it at this point. Or sorry, double S ranks. The S ranks in 3 are actually not that hard. I mean, they're... Oh wait, I think I know what mission we're on. I think it just came back to me. Just doing S ranks isn't that bad in this game. Like, you know, I'll give it a good few tries, solid 3 or so, and I'll get an S rank pretty easy. The double S, now those take, yeah, some high level optimization, repetition. Yeah, we are on mission 7, aren't we? Hold on, I gotta kill the music, the RuneScape music. But hello. Hello, Gustavo, Perdos, DS, Waffle, Tess. Hello. And I agree with, like, I don't think any of the 4 options on the question of the day are things that originate in the US, but they are the 4 staples of American fast food. Hello, Aniket. Red Dead 2 is 120 gigs. Did you get Red Dead 2? What a game. What a game Red Dead 2 is. I am one of probably the stronger Red Dead 2 defenders you'll come across. Because, like, people are 100% on the money when they're like, oh, it's so occupied with, like, immersion and such that it kind of forgets to be a game. They're not wrong, but the overall experience that Red Dead 2 offers is still just so good. So good. Potato chips are an American invention? So when Brits call them crisps, they are incorrectly naming them. Is this true? This sounds just crazy enough to be true. Please tell me it is. This would make my day to learn that this is true. Whoa, that's not what I thought I had equipped. Okay, give me that, please. It is. Oh, man. Where's this last one? I was gonna say, I thought there was one more. Oh, yeah, that was my bad. You know, I can take a little scratch. That much is fine, right? The old game that still has the right to be called next gen. Well, I don't even know. I haven't benchmarked it on my new PC, but I doubt that even my new PC could run it at like a locked 60 on max settings. I could be wrong. Like, I am just kind of assuming that, but I do genuinely doubt that my new PC could actually max the game's visuals and run it at a locked 60. Because my old PC that I built in 2018, literally the year that the game came out, and I had like top end shit for that year, like a 1080 Ti and stuff like that. that PC could only lock 60 frames on Red Dead 2 when it eventually came to PC, because it came a little later than it did for console, right? As Rockstar does. Anyway, it could only hold a stable 60 on that game at like a mix of, or mostly medium settings. I was gonna say a mix, but it was pretty much just like medium settings across the board. And, you know, it goes all the way up to like ultra and stuff like that. So I would not be surprised whatsoever if I still can't max it out and hold a full 60 all the time. But being stuck at medium on the PC version isn't that bad, because the medium settings on the PC port are still higher than what the console releases of Red Dead 2 run at. The console releases of Red Dead 2 ran at somewhere between like the low settings and the medium settings. At least in regards to the eventually released PC port, because obviously it just wasn't around at the time. But being stuck at that settings level, point being, just it wasn't bad. It still looked better than what most people played Red Dead 2, or the experience that most Red Dead 2 players got like at launch, because I waited for PC, which was painful, but I did. Oh my god. I don't remember. I mean, I do remember now that I was actually running Navon on this mission, that I had swapped out to it, because it was less optimal for getting through rooms like this, like time-wise, but I was having a bit of a safety problem. If I take a couple more hits, I'm probably gonna have to reset. This mission wasn't too generous on the damage, so I am kind of close. Chips already existed? Oh. Perhaps. Perhaps. Perdos, are you still here? Definitely aren't one of the bigger... Okay, I'm reading that just now. I'm probably one of the bigger Red Dead defenders, like, in the more nerdy side of the gaming sphere. Like, the side that actually gets into, like, design talk and such. On, like, a deeper level. Sure, in the general gaming sphere, like, The Last of Us 2 is God's gift to humanity, and Red Dead 2 is up there with it, but... over on this side of the community / industry, I'm one of the bigger Red Dead defenders you'll find. What do you guys call French fries in your neck of the woods? Over in the Greek lands, out of curiosity. My opinion will be formed off of this, because I actually don't know. Oh wait, shit, they would probably, what do you guys call them? Fried potatoes. Does no one just, why is there no universal name for this? What I was not expecting was for there to be a third name. And then for a second I was like, oh wait, the answer is going to be in Greek. But he got the memo. He knew what I meant. But immediately after I asked it, I'm like, well, this was a stupid question, wasn't it? Oh my god. Oh wait, I have Trickster on. Shit. I'm styling. Okay. I'm calling it on that hit. That was the one to put me over. Yeah, let me try Navon again. I think Navon is just my comfort weapon at this point. Fried potatoes are not French fries. Oh, that's also true. Are we talking potato wedges? Because we might be. Maybe in Greece it's like, predominantly wedges. I mean, I spent a bit of time there, but I mean, I didn't eat any fries while I was in Greece. You know what I was eating? Like Greek food. I wasn't gonna be eating French fries when I was in Greece for a week and a half. Of course not. Just call them potato. I kind of forgot there would be one more. Yeah, Navon leads to some added awkwardness in some spots of this mission, but in the rooms that really matter, it was pretty game-changing in terms of safety and easily building up combos. It's kind of a trade-off. If I bring Agni and Rudra, rooms like that are a lot easier. The chess pieces in general are a lot easier. But then, like, the whole second half of the mission with Navon is a lot easier. And I think the second half is the one I'm more worried about. Oops, I didn't think that they would die like that. I thought I had one more hit in there. It's hard for me to style on the chess pieces with Navon. It's a big sticking point here. Oh, that didn't kill. Son of a bitch. Okay, we're good. We make it work. Just call each potato food item potato. What are potato wedges? They're like really... It's like a completely different shape. It's like a more thick cut. It's shaped... Hear me out. This is like the worst description that I could give. It's shaped like a wedge. But that's like, I don't know how else to describe it if not wedge. Like what else do I use to describe that? I'm trying to think. It's a more thick cut. I don't know. I know a good potato wedge when I see one. They are definitely a meaningfully different type of fry. They are under the fry umbrella. You know, they are fried potato, right? But at the same time, they have their own unique personality, purpose to exist, reason to be eaten, if you would. Wow, I am just... At least the game thinks I'm stylish right now. I think Navon is just a lot easier for me. Roughly cut? Roughly. Roughly is a strange word. When you... Roughly. Burgers all the way. I don't know, man. I think... And this is the crazy part, right? I commonly say... Okay. That a burger like a cheeseburger is my favorite food. It's a common thing that I say because it's probably true. Like, it's kind of boring when that's like, you know, when people are like, what's your favorite food? And I'm like, cheeseburger. It's kind of a boring answer. But it's honestly probably true. You know, in the same way that Navon is probably my favorite DMC3 weapon, a good cheeseburger is probably my favorite food because I can't go wrong with it. If I ever, you know, just really want to make sure that whatever I eat for dinner is really, really good, I know that a burger will work always. What about steak burger? The steak burger is a little extra. Can be good. Because, like, I'm trying to think, steak burger is stuff like Freddy's or Steak and Shake, right? And it can be good, but I'm a more traditional cheeseburger guy. Should see the types of pizza we've got here. You really should. Some of them are great. Some of them should be considered war crimes. Some of the pizzas we have here, bro. I don't like. I think something that we don't catch enough flack for, that we really should, is that we have just bastardized pizza over here. We have so many like kinds of pizza that we have created, like new styles of pizza that are just, Italians would be offended if they knew, if they only knew what was going on over here. Come on, someone run at me. Work with me here, you guys. You're not giving me much. There's more? We're doing more. Oh, I just got hit twice. At 3 times. Make it 3. Oh no. I got hit again. I just got... Okay, I'm just gonna reset. I got hit so many times when I stopped paying attention to avoiding damage. Kit Kat pizza. Oh, I have Beowulf on. Elden Ring DLC is real. I repeat, Elden Ring... What is this brainwashing happening in chat? Huh? What is this, Mickle? See, I love how some people are like, wait, did they show something? And I'm just like, he's huffing the craziest copium this morning. I don't know what he's got. I want to know who he's getting it from. That's got to be the good shit. Imagine beating Virgil with a guitar. I probably could. I couldn't do it for double S. I could definitely beat Virgil with Navon, right? Probably. I'm just gonna say that I could, and I'm not gonna ever do it. I will never back up the claim. You'll just have to take my word for it that I definitely could if I wanted to. I almost just reset right there. Dropping in presumably late February? Uh-huh. So is Silksong, I heard. Yep. Ah, shit. Okay. I keep forgetting. It's real copium. Where is this coming from, Mickle? What is the source here? What is the source? I got to at least know where this is coming from. Kojima's directing a new Metal Gear 2. What else? The Code Veronica remake is the next game to come out of the Resident Evil franchise. They're actually gonna do it. For the record, there are a bunch of like Resident Evil tubers right now who are like perpetuating the Code Veronica remake thing. And I really wish that that wasn't happening. The GTA is dropping early 2024. Yeah, Bloodborne is coming to PC. Keep them rolling. Like, 2 people that watch this will understand it, but Zombies Chronicles 2 is happening. Silk Song's gonna drop tomorrow. My uncle works on Team Cherry. Yeah. Titanfall 3 is coming out. BO3 DLC. Yeah, Chronicles 2 is in Black Ops 3. They made it for Black Ops 3. Actually, really, the meme there would be Black Ops 4. That was the worst year for Chronicles 2 bullshit. But speaking of the Zombies Chronicles and the Call of Duty Zombies community, for the like couple people that know what the hell I'm talking about, if you don't, I'll keep you in the loop. Just give me a second. I have seen what just like doing clickbait rumor videos, just feeding people's like unrealistic hopes for their favorite game or game franchise can do to a community. So like nowadays when I see people doing like, oh, you know, fill in the blank game is real, and it's just like this one random guy on Twitter who said it, and they like make a whole video being like, this guy's super trustworthy, you guys, I swear, like this is definitely gonna happen. It's like, I've seen this shit literally like slowly over the course of a year break an entire gaming community down, like completely destroy the entire community. And that's a pretty extreme example, but I've seen it. Like, I lived it. I was a creator in the community while it happened. Like, it's really, really counterproductive to perpetuate that kind of rumor. Sorry, I had to make sure that I didn't choke the shit out of that room. This is a long mission with a lot of combat in it. So, I might have to choose my moments to ramble and then, you know, continue once I'm done with a room like that. Vanguard is dropping a zombies only DLC. Clickbaiting can be really, like, it can be just harmless and frustrating in some cases. In that case, like, I watched leakers genuinely just destroy the goodwill and morale of a gaming community over the course of, like, I mean, it was more like 2 years, but it was really bad for, like, that 1 year. And it's just, it can genuinely be really harmful. Oh, also, I just want everyone to know that if you were here for the Armored Core PvP stream yesterday, There was the one moment where, like, I matched with someone who was in chat, and, like, I won the match. It was whatever. And then I was just kind of sitting here rambling about who knows what afterwards. And then someone in chat was like, awkward moment. That was me. Turns out I actually played 2 people who were in chat yesterday. And one of them just wasn't, like, actively chatting at the point that I matched him, but he commented on the VOD later. So what are the odds that I played 2 people who were in stream chat yesterday on Armored Core 6 PvP on the ranked playlist? Is that just, like, insane coincidence? Or is that... I guess, like, Armored Core ranked scene is probably not that big, right? Like, it might not be as crazy as I feel like it is. I mean, it still feels relatively crazy. But maybe it's not as wild as I am sitting here thinking. I got hit, but I don't know how much. Classic Navon Devil Trigger moment. Oh, come on. I forget that I can teleport. That is so lucky that it did not hit me. I would have absolutely baby raged if it did. Like, if he didn't take the bullet because he was behind the pillar, but then he kind of, like, slid around the edge of it to actually connect with me. That would have been a bad one. Okay. Hades 2 has been scheduled to early April. Whoa, 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 whoa. Slow down on the misinformation train here, Mikkel. Whoa, 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 whoa. I know this one. Hades 2, early access for PC, and PC only, has been slated for Q2. At earliest, that means April. At latest, that means June. And it's only early access, and early access will only be out on PC. The game will not be on other systems until 1.0. Whoa. Slow down. The Hades one is dangerous. Nintendo is going to release their old games on PC at a reasonable price. No, 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 no. That's what we have Prime Hack for. I forgot that I had to fight a Reaper in here. Oh, bullshit. I think I'm doing pretty all right. Going to get a proper remaster. A proper remaster? Okay, no. I was gonna say a proper remaster of 1, 2, and 3 would be insane. But no, because hear me out. Don't remaster DMC2. Like, if we're gonna do that, just remake the damn game. Don't remaster it. Don't do it faithfully. If we're gonna redo DMC2, we need to redo DMC2. For a second, I was like, oh, dude, that would actually be great. No. No. No, it would not be. If we're doing it, we gotta go all the way. All right? When am I streaming the new COD campaign? It can fit into one stream if I run it effectively. You know that I won't, first of all. You know that it will be 2 for me. Also, I just don't want to. Come here, bitch. There I go, opening my dumb mouth again. That hit me. Pain, pain, pain. I'm just gonna run it. Teleported in a little early, maybe. Was a misinput? Okay. Okay. Hold on. Let's see the damage. It's not double S. Damage is the hang up. Time was also an issue. Okay. Good to know. Ooh, okay. Ow. It'll be funny. You gotta see how bad. I don't know. I don't know. I do someday. I know that someday I will fully, unironically, review the Call of Duty campaigns as a series. I've talked about the idea before. I think that even just as like a comedic series for me to just work on here and there, it would be so funny. I think reviewing the COD campaigns like totally unironically would make for such a, because there are a couple. There are some every once in a while that it's like, wait, this is actually like a good video game. Not even like this is good for a COD campaign. Like it's just good as a game. Every once in a while there is one. There's not very many of them. For the most part, it would be something. See, I'm trying to figure out how to use Navon against them better. Black Ops 1, it's one of them. Infinite Warfare actually is definitely a top 3, maybe a top 2 for the entire franchise. Like, unironically. World at War's campaign is actually pretty amazing. Just as a World War II shooter, it's like one of the best World War II shooters, single player wise, that I've ever played. I have played House of the Dead, but only ever like in arcades. Got shafted hard at release for no good reason. The only part of Infinite Warfare that I didn't enjoy was the multiplayer, which I didn't, but I'm not, like, I am a COD bro, right? But the multiplayer side of it is like, yeah, I play a little bit of multiplayer every year, but I'm not typically that big on it. But yeah, Infinite Warfare's multiplayer I didn't like, but take it with a grain of salt. The campaign is genuinely one of the best they ever did. And the first couple zombies maps are also like goated tier for the entire series. Like Spaceland and Raven the Redwoods are both fantastic zombies maps. And then I think the quality of the maps really went downhill after those two. But like the core gameplay of Infinite Warfare Zombies is really good too. Always be BO4 campaign. Yeah, imagine like if I get far enough into it, right, and I'm still somehow going through and reviewing the campaigns, it would be the Modern Warfare 2019 video where I would be like, you might notice we've skipped a game here. So, little history lesson. It's because they also just skipped a game here. What I always say with Black Ops 4 not having a campaign, though, is that if the rumors are true, that game skipped its campaign so that it could have Blackout. Black Ops 3 had one of the worst campaigns ever, and it was going to be, we know from like leaks and early playable builds that are now public and stuff, that BO4's campaign was going to be a prequel to Black Ops 3's. And dude, Black Ops 3's campaign was not exactly one that I was itching to get more of by any means. And Blackout was fun. I honestly think that we won out on that one. If you ask me, like, I think we honestly, that was best case scenario. Just not getting a campaign on that one. The one with Kevin Spacey was okay. I think Advanced Warfare got pretty slept on too. I played a lot of Advanced Warfare, even multiplayer and zombies that year. I beat it on Veteran. It was bullcrap in terms of cheap deaths. World at War, yes. World at War, the meme in the COD community about that campaign is the grenade spam on Veteran difficulty. Because for some reason, the enemy AI in World at War, genuinely, like as soon as you go up to Veteran, it's not even there on like hardened mode. It's just as soon as you're on Veteran, it's like out of nowhere compared to the other three difficulties. It is impossible for like 2 seconds of gameplay to go by without a grenade being thrown at you. It's just constant grenades being chucked your way. Which, you know, you could maybe be like, well, at least it's interesting because you have to always be moving. Like, it makes it stressful to have to go from cover to cover constantly to avoid the grenades. And sure, but like, it's crazy. If you've ever played it or even just seen it, the amount of grenades being thrown in that game's Veteran difficulty, unbelievable. Okay. I meant to do million stabs. I have the platinum and I'm proud of it. World at War is definitely... I think it's one that like, I always liked World at War a lot, like when I was younger. But I feel like it's one of those games that just the more that I play it, the more I'm like, this is probably one of the best. Like, I always liked it. I always thought it was A tier. But the more that I play it, I'm like, maybe it's actually S tier. Because every couple years I go back and just revisit World at War, and I'm always like, yeah, this is just a really good game. Oh no, Dante, I thought you were facing that way. No. We're not gonna talk about how hard I almost fumbled the bag there. Oh shit, I just got hit. It's just one hit. But we just got to keep in mind that it happened. Ow, ow. Just one hit, he says. Okay, they're just done leaping at me, I guess. Oh, shit. Oh, my God. I mean, my style was fine last run. It was time and damage. The door hand killed that guy? Wait, I missed it. Favorite shooter over the last 10 years is Battlefield 1. Hey, chat, who wants to feel old? Because I saw this on Twitter the other day. Who's ready? Brace yourself for this one. This one hits really hard, okay? Battlefield 1's reveal trailer came out 8 years ago. You're welcome. That Seven Nation Army trailer? Yeah. You're welcome. I was cursed with this knowledge. Now you all have to be too. That does suck, but I was there when Tekken 1 came out. I feel like, you know, when things get long enough ago to a certain point, it's like, okay. Yeah, that doesn't even, like, you know, surprise me anymore. But the Battlefield 1 reveal trailer, I was like, there's no way that was 8 years. Absolutely no way. But then you think about it, right? And you put it into context of like other games that came out that year. At least this is, for me, this was how it was. Like, you know, that was the same year that like Overwatch and like Infinite Warfare came out. And with those, I'm just like, yeah, that was like 8 years ago. That sounds right. But for some reason, the Battlefield 1 reveal trailer, that one got to me. I was like, there's no way that was 8 years ago. This is bullshit. It can't be true. I knew it was true. I just refused to believe it. One that I said the other day on stream when we were looking at, this was the Metal Gear stream the other day. The Resident Evil 2 remake turns 5 years old at the end of this month. That's another one for me that I'm like, what? It's been a whole 5 years since the RE2 remake dropped already. And I mean, we've gotten like 4 RE games, or sorry, 3 RE games since. So in that sense, it makes sense, but it's still just like, how? How is that already a whole half decade ago? Oh, that hit me. Bullshit. I was on such a good streak there, man. It was such a good Virgil fight until the very last bit. Since Weird Claire. Yeah, Claire who, like, Oh, damage was A. I didn't actually think that that was going to be the run. Like, I definitely thought that I had taken too many hits, but seeing that I was that close, that's upsetting. But also, that's motivating. I was that close. So give me another one. BO2 was 12 years ago. Where's the American Pie? It's the most famous one. What is American Pie? Outside of, you know, like the movie. But what is American Pie? Loved that console. The original Xbox was like the most rule of cool system. The Xbox 360 will be 19 this year. Oh my God. You're right. No. No. Wait. You guys know the John Bernthal clip? The meme? That's me, as soon as I heard that information. 19, oh my God. Wait, chat. I don't even know if I ever said this on stream last year, but back in November, I say last year, a couple months ago, back in November, the Xbone and the PS4 would have turned 10 years old. It would have been the 10-year anniversary of the Xbox One and PS4 just a couple months ago as well. Jesus Christ. I remember going to Walmart and buying the Xbox One in 2013, which I did. Because for the whole generation before, the 360 was miles ahead of the PS3 in terms of games and tech, and just, it was better. It had like better online stuff. So yeah, I went, and when they both dropped initially, I got the Xbone just because I was like, yeah, I had both. PS3 was kind of bad. Little did I know that my hatred for the PS3 would only grow over the years. The last Kojima directed, I almost missed that attack reading. Metal Gear game was almost 8 years ago. That's also, like, I remember all the hype around the Phantom Pain and like Ground Zeroes even when that came out. And I guess, like, partially people's anger towards Ground Zeroes, you know, pricing and content and all that, but like hype at the same time, because it was just, you know, it was a little tease for 5. Did I hear the new Casey Edwards DMC music? No? Casey Edwards is doing more DMC music? Question mark? Oops, that's not what I wanted. Okay, this run has been bad for damage so far. I'm already pushing it, but you never know. I could just be like absolutely in the flow state for the rest of this.
Crazy.
To avoid the 360 because I wanted a PS3. Ouch. PS3 overtook the 360? No. PS4 overtook the Xbone. The PS3, it was, as someone who's not like console warsy, right? And who, if anything, has bias towards PlayStation, because like growing up, the console I have the most memories with is my PS1. Like being really little, that is. The PS3 was a turd. and I stand by it to this day. Like, it's exclusives. It had some good exclusives. You know, I can't take, like, Infamous away from it. Or, you know, like, Uncharted had its appeal. The Last of Us is okay. That's all you're getting out of me about The Last of Us, by the way. Don't expect anything more than that ever. Didn't it have more variety? It did, in terms of exclusives, have more variety. You could definitely give it that. Like, 360 had a great lineup of games. God of War 3. God of War 3, for sure. I don't know how I failed to mention God of War. Like, it had its exclusives, right? But the 360, like, its strength was that it was such a social system. Like, the PS3 had all the single player stuff, right? Had a lot of good single player stuff. 360 had Halo. It had Gears of War. And it had a marketing deal with Call of Duty where, like, they got DLCs and, like, extra content beyond launch, like a whole month early back in the day. Was the marketing deal that they used to have. So 360 had like a bunch of extra shit for if you were a more social gamer, and, you know, not to mention like Xbox Live in the 360 days. Like, there was just no better platform for like social gaming than Xbox Live back in the 360 days. Shit. I have Beowulf. PS3 has a bunch of weird JRPGs. Like, PS3 has a lot of smaller exclusives as well. But I think that the 360 really played to its strengths, like, insanely well when it came to the exclusives that it did have. If that makes sense. Which I guess PS3 did as well, but PS3 just had its problems. Like, it came out a whole year late and was still outspec'd by the 360 in terms of just its tech. And I still don't know. It was more expensive. Does anyone... I brought this up a bit ago. And I was surprised how many people either didn't know or like had forgotten or whatever. Like, because some people were just like, oh my God, I completely forgot. The PS3, when it came out, was $100 more expensive than the Xbox 360 was. They upcharged it by a whole $100 compared to the 360, which definitely hurt its sales, right? Because people who were around back then, like the PS3, it's not like it sold poorly, but it definitely didn't sell like the 360 did. I don't know what the figures are on that. I don't know if I might even pause to look that up because now I'm curious. What are the figures on that? Red Ring. That was the original 360 model. That was the big thing. Although my 360 that I still have today, red ringed twice. I'm not bullshitting you. I could plug it in right now and it will work. It'll play Red Dead or whatever I want to boot up on it. Gears, who knows? Hold on, I'm looking up PlayStation 3 sales versus 360. Wow. I wonder, oh, this might have been a cultural thing. It did, on paper, at least lifetime, like, because these figures are both saying as of 2024. Lifetime, the PS3 sold 2 million units more. The 360 sold 85 million. And the PS3 sold 87 million lifetime. So I wonder, it's probably not a legacy thing. I wonder if it might have been like a regional thing where obviously like Xbox has never been big in Japan, ever. Outside of North America, there might have been a lot more PS3s in the wild compared to here. Because here, it was like, for everyone you knew who had a PS3, you knew like 3 people who had a 360. How many times did people need to buy multiple 360s? I don't know. But mine genuinely red ringed twice. Both times, I just like turned it off like and turned it back on. And it was fine. I don't remember. Does anyone... What was the actual cause of the red ring? Because that is something that I've just, like, that memory, that information is lost to time for me. Like, what was the actual... Like, what was going on in the system that caused it? Does anyone remember? Because I have no idea. I can't remember. PS3 was more expensive because of its architecture. It's true. But the thing with the PS3 was like most of it... I'm trying to word this well. You know how the 360, or sorry, not the 360, the Xbox One was a marketing shit show, right? Because they marketed all this fancy stuff, but very little of it was stuff that like actually mattered for the games, or just even that like gamers would care about, with, you know, like the classic TV. That meme, if you don't know the meme, the main, like, I shit you not, the biggest thing that they pushed in the initial marketing for the Xbox One, and I wish this was a joke, it was the fact that you could like log into your cable subscription on the Xbox One and like watch the NFL on it. Like watch the football games. If you go and find like any of the old like original Xbox One ads, like the first year, like during 2013, maybe even 2014, I would put money on it that every ad for the actual console, not games, obviously, like if you go find a Dead Rising ad, it's not going to do that, but the ads for the actual system, they all were like promoting the fact that you could, because they also had like a marketing deal with the NFL for it. So it was always specifically football. They were like, you can watch TV, and they would like have an NFL game in the ad. They would have a guy like sitting on the couch, and he would close like Forza, and he would go open the NFL on the TV app. It was just the worst marketing. Oh, it can mean several things? Maybe that's why I was like, I don't remember what caused the red ring. Maybe it's because it was just like a general thing. Who knows what was causing mine to do it. General error requiring service of the console or power adapter. So it was just like literally anything could have caused it. Who knows? Go play DMC2 peak of the franchise. You know, don't tempt me now. We have that great Lucia disc that I got at S rank. I was planning on doing Lucia disc after DMC3 normal. Unnormal. We're doing that. I was like, what do you guys think? Should we do Dante hard mode when we go back to 2? Or Lucia normal? And everyone was kind of like, just do Lucia's disc first, and then you'll have both of them like with everything unlocked and with mission select and all that. Oops. Who's the hottest DMC character? If you're asking me, because there's going to be a lot of opinions on this, right? But if you're asking me personally, I would say it's Lady. Although, in like a very Lady, her name is Lady. Well, her name isn't literally Lady, but She doesn't use her, like, given birth name ever. Everyone in the games just calls her Lady, aside from one character in 3 that calls her by her actual name. It's Dante. I was going to say, like, Dante in 3 and 4, you know, as a straight guy, whatever this opinion is worth, I feel like Dante is a very good-looking dude in, like, 4 and 5. Like, once he's got a little maturity, I don't know. Okay, also as a straight guy who might just have a terrible opinion, I have realized over the last year that it seems like men hit their peak in terms of, like, physical attractiveness in, like, their mid-30s to late 40s. Or sorry, not late 40s, early 40s. It can vary for a lot of guys, but that seems to generally be, like, the window where men hit, like, peak attractiveness. Am I wrong? I feel like I've started to notice a pattern with this. And it can't just be me. Early 30s goes hard. I feel like it's like mid 30s, early 40s. Is like that range is when men hit like their peak. Mid 20s, early 30s? No. I think Dante looks best in 2. I like Dante's design a lot in 2. I think overall, my favorite Dante design is 4. But I think that, like, his face model is the best in 5. So if you pulled together, like, some elements of his designs from, like, 2 and 4, and then just threw, like, his DMC5 face model in, I feel like that's how you could get, like, the perfect Dante design overall. I think overall my favorite is 4, but my runner-up was probably 2. Twinks. I mean, maybe it's just the company that I keep, but, like, genuinely, most of my female friends seem to really appreciate the femboys of the world, let's just say. It's interesting. Give me a yoked gym bro. 30s to early to mid 40s, I've heard. I feel like it's true. Like, it varies depending on who you're talking about, for sure. Like, in that range, in terms of where the peak will actually be. But that's definitely, like, in there. There's the peak. Like, in that range. Felix from ReZero. I mean, we're talking more like, not like full-blown femboy, but maybe twink is the better term to use for it. More like a Cloud Strife kind of character. Just like a Link from Legend of Zelda character. More just like super feminine man. Maybe not full-blown femboy, where it's like the anime classic of is literally just an anime woman, but then the show is like, it's actually a dude, and it pulls the bait and switch on you for like a bit, and like that's kind of the character's like comedic appeal. Maybe more just like effeminate, rather. V from 5? Yeah, something like that. Although, sorry, also going back to, what's it? To hottest DMC characters. Speaking of DMC5, I didn't fully get my thoughts out on this. I think a very slept on pick is Nero in DMC5. Nero's looking pretty good in DMC5. With the shorter hair and with just his new design, you know, robot arm, his new jacket that he gets in that game, and his face model, I can't remember the guy's name. I can't remember like any of the face model names from 5. But Capcom in recent years does just literally like, you wonder why people are so attractive in Capcom games. It's because Capcom just like goes out and they find like actual models. I don't just mean like people whose faces they can pull in like to model off of. No, I mean like literal like beauty models, like supermodels sort of thing. And they'll just go and find like models and they'll be like, yep, this is the face. We're just gonna model this person's face onto the character. And that's what they do now. And Nero's like the guy in real life who Nero is modeled off of is a super handsome guy. Can't remember his name, but I've seen him. I knew his name at one point. Just a really good look. Okay. Good looking guy. I think Nero in 5 is a sleeper pick for hottest character in DMC. Went from a young angsty teen to a handsome young man. Yeah, that Nero could be like an argument for, you know, mid-20s could be a man's peak. If you really wanted to make the argument, Nero in DMC5 could help. Ashley from 4 is an amalgamation of 3 different girls. She is? I've always just seen, I don't remember any of their names. It's always terrible, but, I've always just seen for Ashley's model for 4, everyone just uses pictures of that one woman who is from somewhere in Europe. I don't remember what country. She currently lives in Japan. She's a model in Japan who's from Europe somewhere. I always see pictures of her. Is it actually like a combination of multiple different face models? Because that one woman also looks very, very much like Ashley in 4. Hold on. Let me try to not throw Virgil. I've gotten hit a bit during this this run, but it might not have been too much. I wasn't paying a ton of attention to it. I don't know why I shot him there. Good job, Cole. Jesus. Chill out, man. Oh my god. Bro. The Virgil parries are insane on this run. Oh my god, that hit me. Can you stop? I think we're gonna get an A on damage. I don't think that was the run. I don't think this is an SS. I don't think it is either. I feel like most of the time in this game, I feel it when it's the run. And I didn't feel it on that run. It's one of those where it's like, maybe there's a small chance it was, but I don't think so. Oh, it wasn't. A B on damage. It's worse than I thought. I was like, I know I took damage, but I was talking enough to where I wasn't paying enough attention. All Europeans are models. Is that true, Mikkel? I mean, for like the 2 hours that I was in the Netherlands, there's something going on where like how did they just get to look like that? It's not fair. Why did we have to get the British genes? You know, why at the root of the US, why do we have to have the British genes? And they get to look like that. It's not fair, man. Ah! There's some style. I don't know how I was... Oh, I've been running with Navon again. That's right. When I was using Agni and Rudra, I was having a hard time getting the style up to S on this mission while playing safely and efficiently with A and R. With Navon, it kind of just, you know, it's free. I don't really need to put all that much effort. As long as I pull out Navon once in a while, my style rank is very safe. 78% burger. I only just remembered to look back over to question of the day. That's a ton of people. Early on, fries were dominating. How have the burgers come around this heavily? Netherlandish. Your genes don't define you. You gotta learn that from MGS1. Okay, they might not entirely define me. However, comma. I'm cursed with a lot of genetic heritage from not like just England. It's actually more Ireland, I think. I don't know. I've never gotten like an actual DNA test done. It's one of those things where it's kind of just like what your grandparents tell you, which who knows how accurate that is. Because I always hear from people that when they do like the actual DNA tests, it's always like really different from what they would have thought based on what like their family has always just said. So someday I should probably do it, but from what I understand, I think it's a lot of Irish heritage in at least one side of my family. I know the other side is Eastern European. But, you know, a lot of Ireland, Scotland, England, you know, they're all different, but it's like that region where there is a lot of similarities, like just genetically. Culturally, definitely not. Oh, man. And I was not really set up for a great solo there, was I? Have Slavic heritage? Yeah, some. Who knows how much, but some. Worst thing you can tell a gym bro is that genes don't define you, they will fight you. It's one of those... I'm going to take a moment and think. I'm wording here. Ah! No. I'm not taking a hit from the first enemy. I won't do it. I refuse. Were gym bros born with muscles? No, but gym bros do complain about genetics a lot. Which, like, they definitely will make, like, you know, depending on the person. Some people have, like me, I have a harder time staying lean than a lot of people because I inherited like some of the worst metabolism imaginable from one side of my family. Like there is a side of my family that is generally overweight. Just like the metabolism is a problem on that side. I was lucky enough to get it. So I have a harder time staying lean, but because I have an easier time holding my weight, Because some people have a problem with it where it's like, oh, you know, I have a hard time like not getting skinny when I have to eat so much food to actually like hold weight, build muscle sort of thing. I don't have that issue. I have a much easier time building muscle because of it. But then it's kind of shitty looking muscle because I can't keep it lean, right? Like genetics do make things harder or easier in some way for like gym bros, gym culture, but like, this is gonna sound really stupid, but you could always just work around it. I do. Like Metal Gear Solid 1 says, your genes do not define you. Apparently. Apparently that's what Metal Gear Solid 1 says. Not that I would know, of course. Wink wonk. Bulking? Yeah, I have a much easier time bulking. Much harder time cutting. As long as you eat in a deficit and exercise, you'll lose weight. Eat in a surplus, you'll gain weight. Yeah, like it is that simple. A lot of people think it's way more complicated than that because, you know, for various bodies, genes, whatever, like it'll change what is a deficit or a surplus for you. Because, you know, you could just, a lot of people think that it's like, oh, deficit is less than 2,000 calories a day. Surplus is more than 2,000 a day. Simple as that. No. Like, you're gonna have to figure out like what your body actually like what your maintenance is the best way to put it. Like at what kind of or what amount of calories daily do you gain or lose weight? You got to figure that out to get anywhere. But like once you figure it out, like you have that knowledge. Like I know for me, my maintenance to just maintain weight, if I'm exercising and I just want to stay where I'm at, it's about 1,800. Roughly. I'm not exact where I'm like, I need to eat exactly 1,800 a day. I'm like, yeah, 17, 1,900, somewhere in that range. As long as I'm in that sort of region, I'll stay where I'm at, and I do. If you starve to death, you'll lose weight, bro. It's true. It's true. Gym bros are not allowed on stream. I'm not a gym bro. I don't even pay for a gym membership. I do it all here. I don't like going to the gym. And it's expensive. It's really expensive. So I just bought the stuff to be able to work out here instead. And it's been a great, like, year and a half since I made that decision. You know, canceled the gym membership because, yeah, it's just, I don't like going. I know that for a lot of people, they like the more social aspect of it. But maybe it's just because I'm such a hermit that I really don't. It's much easier to maintain a physique than it is to build one. It's true. People, you know, a lot of people do, like, ironically complain about how much they hate being around people, but I'm genuinely like, yeah, I'm cool just keeping to myself. Oh my god. Okay, I thought I was gonna not do it in time. I would have been so pissed. Because I'm already kind of pushing it on the time requirement with this level. Ooh, let's not do a guitar solo right now, Dante. Let's do one now. Wonderful. Bullshit. I think that's the first bit of damage I've taken this mission. Oh, the other one died? What? Oh shit, I just got hit again. What is happening? I got hit again. It's fine. Bro, there's so many of them. Clear them out. No more of them. Vortex is a move in 3. It is. I accidentally use air raid a lot. And that time I accidentally vortexed. Which game had a Game of the Year edition when it didn't win Game of the Year? I don't remember. Well, if you're just going off of like the Game Awards, a lot. But a lot of games, if they win a Game of the Year award from any publication, will just run with it and release a Game of the Year edition. Because like the Jeff Keighley's Game Awards, which have kind of become like the official Game Awards at this point, because it's just the one that everyone watches now. I don't think they even started until like what, 2013 or 14? Something, it was one of those years. I don't remember which exactly, but it was 13 or 14 was the first Jeff Keighley Game Awards. Oh, and speaking of, I saw it pop up in chat earlier and I meant to comment on it, but I didn't. Yes, I saw that Starfield won most innovative gameplay on the Steam, like, Player's Choice Awards. Yes, I was in absolute shock when I saw it. As someone who played and moderately enjoyed Starfield, no. Innovative gameplay it's the same shit that Oblivion did. What do you mean innovative gameplay? Red Dead 2 got Labor of Love. Oh, yeah. Okay, there were a few big ones that were shit, in my opinion, on the Steam Player Choice. With Red Dead 2, I don't understand. I wonder if a lot of people don't know what Labor of Love is supposed to be for the Steam Awards, because it's supposed to essentially be like their award for like best ongoing is what the Jeff Keighley Awards would call it, the Jeff Awards, if you will. It's supposed to be like the game that got the most love in terms of like post-release support. Red Dead 2 notoriously has been neglected by Rockstar for years in terms of the online, because why would they work on more Red Dead 2 online, which has a much smaller player base and brings in much less income for them, when they could do GTA updates instead, which is exactly what they've been doing for years now. They've fully canceled support for Red Dead Online. They don't even do updates for it anymore. And they somehow got Labor of Love on the Player Choice Awards. If I take one more hit, then I definitely don't get double S this run. Like, I probably already don't get it. But if I take one more, I absolutely don't get it. Okay. It's a maybe, but it's probably not. Again, didn't really keep up with my damage very well that run. But I don't think that was the run. What do you want from me for damage? That's, I think, the lowest number I've seen. Fighting a Hell Vanguard with Royal Guard in this game is so good. The Vanguard, which one is the Vanguard? I can never keep the Hell's different names straight. You gotta tell me the color. Or, if it's the Reaper, it's the Reaper to me. The laughing one, the Reaper, right? We're gonna act like it didn't happen. The Reaper. Eventually, you guys will give in and call it the Reaper. My streamer only sees color. It's like the elite ranks in Halo. Like, here, chat, who's a Halo fan? Let's play a game, Saw style. All right, you can imagine your own stakes for this. I shouldn't have said Saw style. But let's play a game. Whoever is in, who's a Halo fan? I'm not taking damage in this room. Thought you were colorblind? I am. I'm red-green colorblind. So, reds and greens very occasionally. I'll see them wrong. Mostly it's oranges and yellows that I don't see right. I only played Halo 1. All right, I'm doing it anyway because I know some people are just not saying they are. Because they don't want to be called out like this. But it's like the red elites in Halo. What are they called? Like, they have, like, an actual rank name in the games. We don't know. They're the red elites. They have the red armor. We all understand that red elite is stronger than the blue ones. But, like, we don't know what the hell it's called. Some people probably do. Most don't. Oops, I'm gonna have, yeah, Beowulf. Like, who knows what they're called? I'm red-green colorblind, and people show me a red and a green. Bro, I have had the exact same thing. Ask me if I can see which is red and which is green. Yep. It's also like when people learn that I wear glasses, I frequently will have people, if I'm not wearing glasses, hold up fingers. Be like, how many fingers am I holding up? Bro, I'm not that blind. You realize how blind you've got to be for that to actually be like, I don't know? Because for me, it's like, okay, you didn't know that I wear glasses because of how infrequently I actually wear them when I'm out. Like, do you think I can't make out general shapes? You think I just walk around in day-to-day life not able to see a goddamn thing? For the sake of my own pride? Of course not. Like, things are a little blurry, but I can see enough to have driven here. Like, I can see that you're holding up 3 fingers. Come on now. I actually need to wear my glasses driving. I wear them in the car all the time. Even if I'm out in public and I don't have them on, I have them in my car because I need them to drive. I can't read the road signs if I don't have my glasses on. But I could make out cars. It's not that level of I need to have my glasses on when I drive. It's just I need to be able to read the signs and stuff. So that I know, like, you know, what the speed limit is. Or if I've got, like, navigation on and it says, like, take exit, I don't know, 2. I need to be able to read the sign to be like, oh, this is exit 2. Gotta explain, they come as a package, but I don't struggle to differentiate between red and green. Only shades of red and shades of green. Yeah, it's when people say red, green, PSA, for people who don't know the ins and outs of different kinds of color blindness. When people say like, oh, I'm red, green, or I don't know if this is actually a thing, but I would imagine that like, blue purple might be one. It doesn't mean that they can't see those colors. It means that like colors that are between those two on like the spectrum, like the literal color spectrum, if you were to pull up like a little graphic of it, colors between those two are the ones that people struggle to differentiate between. So like I might sometimes see an orange and see it as like, if it's a light orange, I might just straight up see it as yellow. Or if it's like a really dark orange, or even just a relatively dark orange, to be honest, I might see it as red. But like I can tell the difference between red and green. It's not that kind of colorblind. Although there are some pretty bad types of color blindness. Like I know that there are some really bad ones out there. I think red green is just like, to my understanding, it's apparently really common in men. I think color blindness in particular, or sorry, in general, not in particular, the opposite. Color blindness in general is much more common in men than it is in women. But even then, like I think red green is the most common type of color blindness. The fancy word is deuteranopia, something like that. I have it. I can read it like in game settings when it's there to enable it. I'm like, yep, that one's me. But honestly, I never, Deuteronomy, yeah, like the Bible book. It's a hard word to pronounce. Mr. Scientist? No, like that's the actual, you know, like the, I guess, diagnosis. The most severe type, and they're doing electrical work. Is that safe? That's, it must be safe. I'll assume that it is. We'll go with it. Goddamn disco ball. All right, I got hit more than I should have in that hallway. I'm gonna have to play this fairly well. And still everything after this, but including this. No damage time. God damn. I really shouldn't try to catch them with the Navon, like, whip out animation as much as I try to. But when it works, it's really sweet. A different style or just a different weapon? It's a weapon. The style I'm using is the one that gives, like, the dedicated dodge button and the air dodge and the teleport move. Like, when I teleport up to them, I always forget that I have it. I mostly use it against Virgil in terms of running this mission. But those are coming from the style. The sword and the guitar are the weapons. I want a mod for this where the Navon solo is the Freebirds. That would actually be there. Someone has to have made it, right? I would assume that someone has already made this a thing. Oh, there's a second hit on it. Always, Cole. I'm just so used to parrying it. Why are you up there? Shit, man. Virgil better deal no damage to me. I'm gonna have to play like the perfect Virgil fight if I want to actually pull this out of my ass. Even then, it might still be an A rank if I get no damage on Virgil. But I'm close enough, and I played pretty close, at least, until I kind of dropped it there. Like, I was fine. Definitely took a couple hits there that were stupid. But there's a small chance if I no damage Virgil that this could be an S on damage. Maybe. Love Navon. So sad it's only in 3. Hey, hopes for next time. They brought back Cerberus, right? They did Cerberus a second time. Maybe Navon next. Yeah, so about that. You know, no copium, maybe there's still a chance. What? Okay, there's no chance. Let's just run it and see what it is, out of curiosity at this point. Virgil. Never mind. Never mind. Nope. Much easier said than done. Guard, definitely. It has its moments. I've used it for, I think, one of them. Oh yeah, I used it for mission... Is it 4? The mission with Gigapede. Because you can pretty much just instantly get past Gigapede with a solid royal release to the head. But a lot of the time, because I'm not great with Royal Guard, I just know better than to mess with it. In all honesty, I'm already taking a weird enough approach to this mission by using Navon for it. I mean, I've figured it out. Like, it works for me now. But originally, I was not doing it. It was kind of an experimental idea from chat that I ran with, and it kind of stuck.
You scared?
Hello, Jess. Why is he sharing lumberjack shorts? Are we talking shorts like YouTube shorts? I would have to assume, because at first I thought like, you know, shorts, pants, but not pants, half pants. I feel like your biggest run killer is actually the ranking system, not death itself. Well, because I'm doing the ranks, right? When you're first playing the DMC games, especially like 3, when you're new to it, it's hard. But yeah, definitely, like, I never reset because of death. It's always because of like a sequence of stupid shit like that where I get hit for no reason. You know, that just happens enough times, especially in a mission like this that's like 10 minutes long. And the damage requirement's really strict on this mission. I don't know why it's so strict for a mission with so much combat. Right? For a mission that's so easy to take damage in, it's very picky about the damage requirement. First time I actually enjoyed it was in 5 because they made it easier. That was me too. Like when I was playing through just casually, the first time that I was able to actually enjoy Royal Guard was in DMC 5. They just made the execution so much easier with it. It felt like you could actually like use it as a more casual player. Because in 3 and 4, it's ridiculously hard to use Royal Guard. At least, like, to its full potential. Like, you could just use it casually to, like, hold the button and make it so that you take, like, only chip damage instead of the full attack. But to actually use it, like, for ranks and stuff, it's really, really hard, man. When I see someone using Royal Guard in 3 or 4, I respect the shit out of it because I know how hard it actually is to do it right. Because whenever I touch it, it don't work like that. It don't. The things that I see other people do with Royal Guard, as soon as I try to do it, I've heard in 4 it's even harder. Oh yeah. In 4, it's an even tighter parry window than it is in 3. Never even been able to mess it up. Mickle, I'm telling you, and you might not listen to me. You might eventually, like, one day listen to me. But knowing your gaming tastes, I think that if you ever tried DMC, you would get such brain rot for it. You'd be so hooked on it. Oops. Oh, he was already dead. Staggers everything. Surprised me how effective it is against armored enemies. I like the shotgun a lot. I'm mainly, like, my main gun combo right now, because we're on new game, so I haven't even cleared the whole story on the save file yet. I've been bouncing between, like, you know, I'll play if there's, like, a weapon I want, but I've been doing the ranks along the way. And, so I'm missing that one last gun, but Spiral and Ebony and Ivory is like my go-to because of the animation canceling damage that you can get out of it. And not to mention the infinite style that you can get out of it. Because for some reason, it doesn't like cap out and stop giving you style ever. I don't know who made that decision. Or maybe it was like a spaghetti code sort of oversight. Who knows why it's the case? But it's very odd that Spiral and Ebony and Ivory, you'll just keep building style regardless of how much you spam it. Also, Mikkel, it's not as monotonous as I make it look doing these resets, I swear. If you play it like a normal human being and you're not trying to S-rank the entire game, it's just really good, casual fun. I took a hit there. Oh, my bad. Is that the last one? That was the last one. Okay, I've taken 2 hits. You see spiders get shotgun? Yeah, spiders will probably change the weapon setup a little bit. Wasn't made to be shot fast, but surely they knew about like animation canceling. What if they didn't? Is all S ranks part of Platinum? It is in 4 and 5. 5 probably has... I would say that 5 has the most lenient ranking system in the series. Maybe. It's either 5 or 1. But 5, at the very least, it has one of the easier S ranks out of the series. 5 literally only judges you based on your style and nothing else. Whereas doing double S ranks in DMC3 is like, I have to be on like speedrun time and I have to get enough orbs, so essentially just kill enough enemies, and I have to keep my style high enough throughout the mission, and I have to take little to no damage. Doing double S ranks in 3 is hellish. This game is the hardest to rank if you're doing double S. If you're just doing normal S ranks in 3, it's actually not that bad. But double S is really bad. Kind of satisfying, outside of the fact that I'm typically doing like 2 hours of resets per mission. I'm scared that the hand is gonna pop out. You bring up an interesting thing with them, you know, not intending Spiral to be shot quickly, and maybe that's why it always gives you more style. I wonder if they didn't know that you could animation cancel Spiral. Like, at first I was like, surely they know about animation canceling, right? But this was the first time that they really like allowed for it, so maybe they just didn't realize the full extent of how much you could break the combat system with it. I mean, not even break it. The game is hard enough to where you can kind of do things that aren't intended, and it still feels like a balanced game while doing that. I still had 2 big areas to explore. Yep, welcome to Baldur's Gate. It feels like you're close, and then you're like, oh my god, it's only a third of the content. I wholeheartedly stand behind my statement of anyone who doesn't think that Baldur's Gate 3 deserved Game of the Year just can't have played it. Like, even if it wasn't personally my Game of the Year, but I did play it, and so I was like, yeah, it deserves Game of the Year. It should win Game of the Year. It wasn't my personal favorite game, but it was just so clearly the most well-made Game of the Year. The best game to come out last year. Like, on paper, sort of thing. Even if it wasn't my favorite. Because my favorite was RE4 from last year. The more that I think about it, the more I'm like, yeah, RE4 was just my favorite of the year. There's no way it wasn't. This could have been it. The damage is maybe an A, but that felt pretty good. Fuck. I need to take less damage than that. How does this mission have so many huge fights? And I can only take like 3 hits max throughout the whole thing. You can get Yamato for Dante if you perform a very specific set of actions. What? I've never heard about this. Jump cancel wasn't intended in 3, but I think it was in 4. Yeah, I can definitely see stuff like that. Oh, it works for me. We get there in the end. This mission is really bad. I would be shocked if this doesn't end up just being one of the worst double S ranks of the entire run. It's just so long, like per attempt, and it has to be like nearly perfect, very close to perfect, to get the double S for it. Oops. Oh, Dante Yamato is an April Fool's video? Shit. I was like, that sounds really fun. To be able to mix Yamato in with Dante's kit. Nope. Now that I know how strict this is, I just like, I can't. Oops. I just need to make a thumbnail and decide what to play. I think Devil May Cry. Personally. Or... I keep joking with False and saying that she needs to stream Armored Core. But I swear, if this joke goes far enough and I just keep saying it, eventually it might happen. Because originally the Halo thing was just me making a joke. When I was like, oh, you've never played Halo? Okay, here's what we're doing. You're going to buy it on Steam, and we will play all of them. We'll make it happen. But now here we are, like 4.5 Halo games deep, playing them for her stream. It's one of those things that I'm like, I kind of know. Oh, also Demon Souls. She's doing Demon Souls for her YouTube right now. And that was also like, I just joked with her for literal months whenever she was like, what game should I do? I was like, the Souls games. Clearly. Obviously. And then eventually, I got her to crack on it. After just jokingly saying it enough. I have a list and DMC ain't on it. How is it not? The Pizza Man. Out of S ranking, a DMC game versus Armored Core, which is the harder series. In my experience, so far, having not like intentionally grinded Armored Core S ranks, I guess the best way to put it is I think DMC is a lot harder to S rank because I get way more accidental S ranks, like without trying S ranks in Armored Core than I ever do in Devil May Cry. Like I have to work for it in DMC. In Armored Core, it kind of just happens a lot of the time. Plus, there's the thing of like, yeah, certain encounters can be cheesed super easily in Armored Core because of like different builds. Like if I ever need to get past a really hard challenge, I can always make it so much easier by just building something specifically for that challenge. And then, like, it'll take no time after I do something like that. If I stubbornly stick to, like, my one build, I could be there for ages, but if I change my build, I could get through it really quickly. There's more. Yeah, it's easy. It's easy. Not saying it's a bad thing, but it's just how it is. Armored Core is older than DMC. If we're going with that, well, Armored Core, I guess, didn't add S ranks from the first game. What year was Armored Core 3, chat? It was like 2004? Maybe 3, maybe 2003. I don't remember. Oh no, I think it might have been like 2002 or 3. 2002, yeah, okay. As soon as I really started to think about it, I was like, no, it can't be that recent. So I guess about, like, it was only a year after DMC 1 came out that they added S ranks. I think Armored Core is a more difficult game to just complete front to back casually. But I think it's way easier to S rank once you're used to playing the game in general. Didn't AC2 have ranks? No, I'm pretty sure it was 3, right? I don't think 2 had them, unless I'm mistaken. I don't think it had them. I'm gonna stick with that answer. Hard to learn, easy to master versus easy to learn, hard to master. Yeah. DMC's skill floor is lower, but its ceiling is way higher. Armored Core's floor is way higher, but its ceiling is a lot lower. Oh my god, I barely avoided that. How did I not get hit by anything in here yet? It's a miracle I haven't taken damage. I'm kind of just hitting buttons right now. I'm like fully operating on muscle memory, and I'm not kidding. Dante, stand up. Oh, we did get hit by that. There's no canceling out of that one. Oh. If I take one more hit, it's reset. Entire mission. I do know about explosion. I should probably use it more because I do know about it. I just never, I talked about it the other day. I think it's just because I'm on normal. So enemies like in that scenario, DT explosion could have been really helpful, but it's so rare on normal difficulty that I need it. That I kind of just, like, I know about it, but I always forget it. Even in spots where it would be good. it becomes like super... What is wrong with me? Super crucial on higher modes, higher difficulties. Oh, I have Beowulf on. But on normal, since the enemies die pretty quickly, relatively speaking, I always forget. If I had infinite monkeys sat... Wait, hold on. Sat on infinite DMC3 games pressing random buttons, how long would it take for them to S rank the game? About as long as it's taking me, probably. If I had to guess. Oh, maybe not. DMC2 would be their hang up. You genuinely, you cannot get through DMC2 with random buttons. S rank wise, in terms of just beating the game, very different story. In 3, maybe, if you're really lucky. In 2, it's just not gonna happen. 2 has so many scenarios where you need to know a very specific strategy or way of cheesing something if you actually want to get an S rank. Cole is part of the infinite monkeys that infinitely press buttons. Yes, thank you, Mikkel, for explaining the joke. Bastard. Theoretically, one of them should get the hitless world record. No, it's too strategy dependent. If we're just saying random monkeys pressing random buttons, they would never get through DMC2 S ranks. It's genuinely like DMC2 S ranks, half of it is a knowledge check. I wish I was shitting you. I wish it was more of a skill check than it is, but because the game, you know, because of its development circumstances, like came out the way it did, there's a lot of stuff that's just poorly balanced to the point of you need to have a very specific strategy or cheese for it to actually do it. Because otherwise, it's not made in a way where you can do it like in a time efficient and damageless manner. DMC2 S ranks, as bad as DMC3 double S is, DMC3 double S at least always feels like I'm not getting it because I'm not good enough at the game to get it. 2 normally doesn't feel like that. 2, it normally is like, okay, like this game is just not letting me have shit. Okay. Was that my first hit or second hit of the run? I want to say it's my first, but I might be giving myself too much credit here. I was standing a little close for that one. Reset the run, IMO. Reset the game, start over. The entire game. I think I've seen a person who can do it with pure skill. There might be someone who is just built different, to be fair. But DMC2 is a nightmare of its own. 3, it feels like you don't even need like a specific strategy for any of it. Like as close as it gets, I guess, is like, yeah, I bring certain like styles or weapons for making some things at least easier the way that I play. But even then, it's like play style dependent, where I'm sure a lot of people could easily get the style requirements on this level without Navon. I don't feel like I can. And I know that I can't, at least not without a ton of training, because I was trying to do it without Navon for a while. It wasn't working. Like, for the way that I play 3, I need my guitar for this one. Like, stuff like that. And, you know, bringing Trickster for air dodges in these rooms. Like, there's strategy as far as your personal playstyle, I guess is what I'm trying to say. But it's not like DMC2, where DMC2 is like, there is a playstyle because, you know, it's just, you have all the guns in the game at once, and all the swords share a moveset. Not to say that they can't be used in different ways, but you get what I'm saying, right? Two, it feels like you just have to know the game. 3, it feels like you can use game knowledge, but even then, I don't really need it. It just makes life easier on me. I could eventually do this with Agni and Rudra the way I was trying to. But it's a lot easier for me personally if I just bring the guitar instead. Oh, there's a hit. Oh boy. We're in it now. There's another hit. Get out of here. All of yous. I got hit. I'm resetting. I just got hit like 3 times right there. I forget explosion. That is like the moment where I need it. Absolutely. In the Switch version, I wonder what combos and strats you could come up with. I do too. Is this like a no-hit run? It's not no-hit necessarily. But for this mission, with how strict the S rank requirement is, it's like if I take 3 or 4, it's probably about time to just reset. There are so many combat encounters in this level, and for some reason, even though DMC3 like changes the requirement for S rank per mission, this mission is basically no damage with the way that the scenarios are. It's close enough. Oops. Stuck at the boss rush level? Oh. I don't even want to think about the boss rush level. For double S? Oh, it's bad enough just as is. I don't even want to remember that that exists. You can take 3,000 damage, you baby. You know how fast 3,000 happens with the way that this game actually works? 3,000 is not a lot in a mission with Virgil and a Reaper and a shit ton of the Red Hells, whatever their actual name is. The leaping ones. Oh shit, okay, we're fine. I was like, that would be a really stupid place to take damage. Would have been a very painful first hit of the run. That was great style, no damage. It's one of my better hallway runs with Navon. Navon is just really awkward in that hallway. I stand by it. This time, if I get into a bad spot in the cluster room, we'll just leave it at cluster. I caught myself. Then I should remember that DT explosion exists this time. Right? You would think, at least. Dante gets a splinter or stubs his toe on DMD and half his health bar drains immediately. DMD might actually... We might see some deaths on DMD when we get there. Like, not just, you know, I take a hit and I need to reset. Like, we might see actual... Like, I might die. Because it really... It only takes a couple. It doesn't take a whole lot on DMD. Whoa. Beautiful solo, Dante. That's the sort of thing we love to see from you, man. That's how you earn a good pizza at the end of the day. Can't even beat the game on normal. It's just the more that you stick with it, the more it will click. Everyone is terrible at these games the first time through. Like, genuinely. Everyone is really bad at DMC the first time they play it. Because it's hard. Like, you know, not just that the game is hard, like, you know, the enemies do hit pretty hard and that doesn't make it easy. But even just like, you know, the basic mechanics and stuff are really hard to get to grips with. Super rewarding to play, but really hard to learn. Bullshit. I'm so upset. I am just lucky on that one, to be honest with you. Was that too much? Was that too much? Maybe. Did I style on that last one a little too hard? PS2 normal was actually hard mode in the West. Special edition fixed it. That was only... The Dante's Awakening release was the only one like that. Special edition, it got worked out. But yeah, it is just like that first, especially with 3. 3 is hard. 3 is hard. Could you imagine though? Like with how much I got my ass kicked on my first run through of DMC3, I'm sure some people don't have to imagine in chat, but just genuine for me, like I played for the first time on Special Edition. Most people nowadays do, right? I can't imagine trying to get to grips with the mechanics and everything and having to play new game on hard mode like that. I did that to myself. I've got to be at like 2,500 damage at least. I've got to be about there. But the version that's in special edition for DMC3 is, did I say special edition? The version of DMC3 in the HD collection is the PS2 special edition. From this on, it's a no hit. It's, if I take, okay, it's gotta be no hit, I think. I hope it's no hit. I'm gonna play my heart out. I'm gonna straighten my back fully. You know, good gamer posture here. I'm gonna not read chat, all right? I'm focusing up. Ultra sweat mode for this win. I may have fumbled the ball a bit. Oh, I definitely fumbled it there. We'll see. Oh, shit. I said I wasn't gonna read chat. I did glance over for a second. I'm just, I can't go long without reading it. I have to. Of course, now I'm like in the zone with it. I think it's an A. It could even be a B, to be honest. It's definitely not an S. It could be a B. 8 minutes? Dude, I've been getting fast. These runs have been getting shorter and shorter. Wow, that was a lot of damage. And it was mostly Virgil and the Reaper, right? I took like 1 hit the entire mission up to that point. If I remember right, at least. I think it was 1 hit up to the Reaper fight. This mission's asking a lot. It really is. Binged all the Armored Core videos. Appreciate it. Thank you. Ugh. Speaking of video, I said yesterday, chat, that I was making like my new magnum opus. The one that I was like, this is probably the best video I've made, at least with how it is right now. Because obviously there's always the thing of like, you know, while it's in progress, it could just be that like the first half of the video comes out really good, but then the second half is weaker. Or like, you know, even something like when I go and do the music pass, I could do a shit job on like the audio balancing or whatever, and that could ruin it. And the video's still in progress, but after like another 5 or 6 hours of work on it, I would say 6 probably, since stream yesterday, I still think it's probably my magnum opus. It's still probably the best video I've made. The best video, the way that I at least look at my own stuff, right now, I would say like my best video on the channel is the Armored Core 6 video. Behind that, it's probably the Callisto Protocol video. And behind that, if I had to pick a number 3, maybe my Master of Arena video. But I in its current state, I think that this new one will be the new, like, the top. Not even like new top 3, just it'll be the top. I forgot Callisto Protocol even existed. Yeah, before I started doing the current format of videos that I do, and I was kind of like doing experimental stuff, I did like an hour-long breakdown of the Callisto Protocol like a month after release, after they patched it up and stuff. And it's genuinely one of my better videos. It did not do well at all. Like, not one bit. But it is like, when I look back at it, it's still like, yeah, that's one of the best videos I've ever done. What the fuck am I doing? Compilation video is funny. That video is like, some of my older, like, just more comedic videos are good. Not to spoil, okay? Not to spoil anything, but the new video has a lot of funny bits in it. The one that I'm cooking up right now has a lot of good, good jokes, good meme inserts, good just comedic timing, like good cuts on the jokes. You know, some of them are what you might call like, you know how sometimes a joke can be like moderately funny, but if it's cut off at just the right moment, like in editing, then it can be way funnier than it otherwise would be. Like that sort of thing. When I say like the cuts and the comedic timing of it, it's like that sort of thing, where the jokes are just okay, but the actual editing behind them makes them seem way funnier than they are. That sort of thing. Some of the jokes are just really funny, and then the editing behind them is really funny. Some of them, it's both. But, yeah, the old Armored Core games are scalped to high hell right now. Like, since, what's it called? Really, since 6 got announced, to my understanding, is when the prices for them, like, shot up. Because it's a series that never sold all that well. So there's not a lot of copies in circulation for the older games. And then a lot of people who do have those older copies, when the new one got announced and there was like a buzz behind it where everyone was like, what the hell is Armored Core? You know, a lot of people saw dollar signs. Reasonably so. But the scalping on the old Armored Core games right now is crazy. It's unfortunate. I was lucky enough for a lot of the videos for that review series to have a buddy who owned most of them, who like had physical copies laying around for me to just borrow. But yeah, that, like, I know for just one example, I know that Verdict Day on like eBay or Amazon right now will run you like $200 for a physical copy of Verdict Day. Like, those games are just so overpriced right now on like the used games market. And it's because there's so few physical copies, especially for something like Verdict Day. Like, Verdict Day's lifetime sales figures, I think it's like 120,000 US or Canadian? US. So Your answer to this, for the record, will not offend me. Be honest. Did you think I was Canadian? But US. So in Canadian, if that's why you ask, it would be like $250 Canadian, roughly. Who's willing to test my USD to CAD conversion real quick? Anyone got like the quick little Google calculator for it for me? How much is $200 US in Canadian? There was a chance. I've realized a trend of people recently thinking that I'm Canadian again. Is my accent back? You guys gotta tell me if it is. Is my accent back? Because for a while, no one thought that. Thought you were English. Your English accent is good. I know. You could definitely be mistaken into thinking that I'm from England with how good my British accent is. 267? Oh, what? Seriously? Oh my god. I mean, I know like what's going on with the Canadian economy the last couple years. I have a couple good friends who live in Canada, so I'm actually like fairly in the loop on Canadian politics and like the state of things like the real estate market and the economy up there. But holy shit, it's up to like, because for a bit there, it was kind of just like USD will be roughly like 80% of what it is in Canadian. But now we're getting to the point where it's beyond that. I mean, we've got our inflation issues here too. Which I guess even then saying that, I guess that also just puts it into perspective because we're having like record levels of inflation currently. And Canada's outpacing us. That's really fucked. You're like, you know, not for nothing, like our economy is kind of in shambles at the moment as well. Don't get me wrong. I probably should have used the explosion a lot sooner. I kind of forgot about it again. Oh. How am I doing on damage? How am I doing on damage? Nice. Oh, I was about to say, what are the odds? Yeah, our real estate is almost as bad as Canada's real estate right now. It's not quite as bad. But it's pretty close. We're not far off from the current state of Canadian real estate down here. Unfortunately, for both of us, because if you're American or Canadian right now, either way, then you're very aware of just how bad it is for both of us when I say that. My buddy's grandfather, who lives in Ontario, just recently sold his house he bought it in like the 80s, right? He bought it for $60,000 in the 80s, Canadian dollars. And he just sold it recently. Does anyone want to take guesses actually? Because this was a wild one to hear just recently. Oh my god, why? You're doing this to me now? I haven't started the timer yet, for the record. Timer starts now. Caveman mode it is. 750K? Reminding 3 times in a row is hard work. It is not your fault that Chole forgot. 750K minimum. He sold it for 1.2 million Canadian just recently. Which, like, it's a lot. It's a lot more than they bought it for. My Chole's jaw like hit the floor when he heard that. All right, Chole's gonna focus up for Virgil fight. Chole is not entirely sure how the damage is looking, but it's at least looking moderately good this run. So Chole's really gonna be on the ultra sweat here. That hurt. That's bad. That's actually really bad. Whoops. Wrong weapon, maybe. Hello. There's the timing. Chole's still got the timing, don't worry. You know, animation canceling is hard and all that. Not really. This is a pretty simple one, but sometimes. Chole's gonna predict that was an A for damage. Chole thinks he lost it right at the Virgil fight. You said it was 3,000? You said it was 3,000 is the cutoff? It needs to be below 3,000? I'm in so much, or Chole's in so much mental distress over that. He's gonna start sounding French. Which is disconnected from... What? What? Everyone heard that, right? Everyone just heard my computer make a little disconnect noise. Chole doesn't know what disconnected. Microphone is working. Controller is working. Camera's working. Light is working. Monitors are working. Mouse and keyboard are still working. Chole can tell because the lights are still on them. Which we'll consider Zone of Enders. Someday, maybe? Oh, whoops. But, Chole actually isn't normally a mech fan. Like, Armored Core is the only mech, like, series that Chole has played. Is the Cerberus thing true about the extra damage? Also, hello, Raiden. Whoops. It's the best Dragon Ball Z game. No, 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 no. Everyone knows that the best Dragon Ball Z game is Tenkaichi 3. Some people like to be hipsters and say that it's Budokai 3. They're wrong. They're the same people that say that the original RE4 is a masterclass in writing. Rings a bell. What does? Zone of Enders? Oop. Does even more to Agni? I know about Agni. Because I know that with the Agni thing, unless it is a random bug, I've always thought it was because, you know, using ice against the fire enemy. I always thought it was just an intentional, like, elemental matchup. You scared? Crazy. Someday I will make Zone of Enders 3. Good luck. Would it be Konami? If it's Kojima, it has to be Konami, right? I think he like only ever worked with Konami up until his departure from it a few years back, right? So up until like Death Stranding. Unless I'm wrong, I'm not too familiar with Kojima's entire portfolio. Screw that, by the way. That was... It is? Yeah, good luck with that. Good luck getting Konami to make new games for anything. Let's be real. I mean, like, seriously, good luck getting them to capitalize on any successful IP of theirs. It took them, what, 8 years to do something with Metal Gear again? Or sorry, Survive exists. That was what, like 2017? Took them like 7 years to get back around to doing stuff with the Metal Gear franchise. And even then, they're just doing a remake of Kojima's work instead of trying to do something new with it. Which, I mean, fair enough. To be honest, that's probably best case scenario in terms of like the quality of the game. Considering what Metal Gear Survive, at least what I've heard it is. Like, there's a small chance that it is just like vitriol from the fan base about the game on principle. But I've also heard that the game just sucks. Like, even outside of that. Remake is safe work. That's what you know what's really weird to me? Hear me out. I mean, it's not entirely weird. Okay, actually, it's not weird at all. Rewind. Ignore that I even said that at all. Contra sucks. What was the last Contra game? Because I know that every once in a while, they do use the Contra IP. But what was the last time they did? Also, hello, Iser. But, that's what I get for looking away from the screen so much while I play. Sorry. Obviously, the remake of 3 was the decision that was made because, like, dollar signs. Konami just saw the money that would be in remaking the most beloved game in the franchise. even if it is like what, the 5th mainline title of the franchise. It was just like, oh, this one will make us the most money because this is everyone's favorite. But honestly, there's a part of me that really wishes that instead of MGS3, they would have like remade the first Metal Gear Solid, or just the real one for me. Dude, do Metal Gear 1. Like, make it a 3D Metal Gear. Make it play like the Solid games. But redo the 8-bit games, dude. I mean, maybe a harder sell because less people played the originals, sure. But like, also imagine the potential marketing value behind taking the games that are so like outdated and archaic that most people just don't bother and bringing them like up to par with the other Solid games. Am I wrong for that? I can't be wrong for that, right? Also, YouTube dashboard is saying we're dropping frames. If we are, give me a second to look at it.
Crazy.
It looks like we did, but we're not right now. Yeah, it looks like we're fine right now, but at some point we dropped a lot of frames. Hater not returning makes any remake dead. Wait, huh? Where is this coming from? Is he not returning for Snake Eater? Or sorry, Delta? I guess they're still calling it Snake Eater, aren't they? Isn't it called Delta Snake Eater? Maybe I'm not wrong to call it that. Is he not returning? This would be the first I've heard of it. There's the option for an AI voice. No. Don't do AI voice. We can't. No. Just because the finals did it. You guys. Normally, I'm only harsh on the AI stuff because it kind of sucks. This is like one of the 2 scenarios in which I will say like AI bad because you're going to kill an entire industry of work. Like, AI voice acting is one of those things that we just should not even be dipping into at all. Just because the finals did it for their announcers. Which I really don't like that they did. Because it's gonna be like the first roll of the snowball in that sense. And it's just gonna progressively be more common from here. It should not become a commonplace thing. It really should not be. Especially because it sounds like shit. Have you heard the announcers in the finals? Has anyone here heard it? Like, they sound bad. It's not, like, subtle. I actually had no idea about it until I tried the game. Because some people are like, oh, if people didn't know going in, they would have no idea. No, I had no idea going in. Genuinely, I missed the whole controversy with it beforehand. I played the game with some buddies, and I was like, who is voice acting this? And then they filled me in. I've taken too much damage already. They can also just reuse the OG lines. They could. I know just because of like some trivia that I've come across in research that in terms of the only Metal Gear Solid remake that there is, you know, Snake Eater. Or sorry, not Snake Eater. What the hell? Ignore me. Twin Snakes. They just brought back the original cast and had them re-record the entire script. Like, it was the same actors, but they were like, hey, do you guys like want to redo this? You know, make some adjustments, improvements, etc. And they did. So at least so far, like, that's the precedent that they set years and years ago. But yeah, considering the age of Snake Eater, I doubt that that's what's gonna happen this time. I would definitely not be surprised at all if like a bunch of voice actors didn't return. But David Hayter not returning would be a really big deal. Obviously. Or for people who don't know Metal Gear games, the voice of Solid Snake not returning would be a big deal. Or sorry, I say Solid Snake. The voice of Snake. Let's go with that. Don't jump on me. I know exactly the mistake I made. Do not. When I think of David Hayter, I think of Solid Snake specifically. Because that's just the point in the series that I'm at. If they did an Ada. The thing with Ada in 4, okay, I've said it before, I'll say it again. Ada's voice actress in 4, I do think that she gave a performance that was less enjoyable than Ada's voice actress from the remake of 2. I don't know why they replaced her from that game. But if you compare remake Ada to RE4 Ada, it's an improvement from that. If we're just going like original to remake, it at least is better in that sense. But, you know, that being said, improving on the voice acting of the original RE4 isn't exactly like some milestone achievement. I still don't understand why they replaced her actress from 2-make, because she was great. Whoa. But at the very least, you know, just looking at it as like a remake of the original and kind of looking at it in a vacuum in that sense, she's better than the original 4's actress. Wow. Whoa. Oh no, I'm so dumb for that, but that's the first bit of damage I've taken this run. So I might be able to get away with it, especially because that last third attack in the Shring deals so little damage. I think I can get away with that one. But it is unfortunate to take any damage with this mission. Because she joined a union, was it? Oh, was that it? Is that why they replaced 2-make's Ada? Is it because she was union? Because I know that, unfortunately, a lot of the Japanese games industry is very particular about that. They don't like working with union actors. Not obviously all of them, but a lot of them. It's a in the voice acting scene right now. It's a big problem for them that they often will get turned down for roles in Japanese developed games just because they're part of an actors union or guild. Oh, I already had Spiral out. Of course I did, because I'm a boss. Oh. Definitely not the best solo. I can just no damage from here, right? It's fine. Run isn't dead yet. I have not played Ghost of Tsushima. I'm waiting for the cowards to put it on PC. Collectively bargain. Yeah, it's, you know, it's real bad of them to, you know, be part of a larger group to where, you know, they kind of can look out for one another and make sure that they're all getting paid a fair amount for their work. It's real shitty of them, isn't it? To be fair, a lot of that is just kind of coming from Japan's larger work culture, which is why it's probably not going to change for a bit still. Even as it is now, and with, you know, the rest of the industry just kind of being like, that's kind of shitty that that's a problem right now. It likely won't change for a decent bit just because of that. Oh, wait. It was a small explosion. You can't abuse your voice actor. Then what are they good for? I'm expecting fair pay and benefits. I know. I mean, that stuff is expensive, you guys. Fair pay and benefits. It really adds up. Hurts the bottom line quite a bit. I know, I'm trying to think. I don't actually know about Capcom. I know I took damage. I'm going for one more. I'm pushing it just as a maybe. Did they do anything about the tax bill that they passed in Japan? What tax bill? I try to keep up with the Japanese industry as much as I can, but it's kind of hard. I have no connections to the Japanese industry. None whatsoever. I do what I can to stay in the loop on it, but a lot of the smaller stuff, especially like tax bills and stuff, I'm fairly out of the loop on most of the time. Come on. Knew it. I was like, there's no way. Yeah, if I get hit by Virgil, it is just going to be instant reset. I know that I'm like already maybe in the A rank range. So if I take any damage whatsoever, then there's no way that this is the run. This is an insanely hard mission. You know, I don't feel like I need to point it out at this point in the stream, considering I've been running this mission for almost 3 hours straight. It's just, it's the length of each attempt, along with just how many opportunities there are for me to make a mistake like that, where I just take a dumb hit just because of the amount of enemies in the mission. It's a rough one. Jesus, man. Stop calling me that. Shit. I should have tried Cerberus there. Hold on. It was a sloppy run anyway. Who needed to get the no damage in on that one? I'm gonna land on that ledge every time. Weird question. Completely out of the blue for this stream. Does anyone know when they're gonna do a new Diablo season? Diablo 4, that is. Because I've been very curious about like how they've been handling the game the last like shit half a year since I've last even heard anything. Whoa, I just got super lucky with iframes. That should have hit me if we're being honest. No idea how it didn't. They made it so that voice actors and I'm assuming mangakas. If that's probably not how I say it anyway. That's the years of Spanish study coming out. The weird scuffed accent when I read anything non-English. And so on. So they either need to choose to not be tax exempt and go broke, or be tax exempt and have the employer pay the taxes. Because of that, they're more likely to get let go by their employers because it's expensive. That might play a role. It definitely sounds like it would play a role in it. Speaking of my weird scuffed accent, in that particular case, I gotta get some Japanese study time in by the end of the night. I did not do it in the morning like I usually would. I was of the opinion that Diablo was dead after the second game. Now you're telling me they have a fourth game and seasons. What next? Disney owning Star Wars. I know. It's crazy. But Diablo 4 was one of the weird like games in terms of how the public viewed it this year. Because like it came out and for the first month, like me and everyone else, like we were all just having a good time with it. It had issues that we were all like acknowledging. But in general, like the public general sentiment was like, yeah, game is fun. Obviously, oh shit, that was an accident. Obviously, what's it called? Shit, there are issues, but everyone was having fun. I lost it there for a second because I read chat. Obviously there were issues, but like everyone was having a good time. Season 1 update came out and like, you know, I definitely agreed they made some weird changes with it. But it was still like, okay, game is solid, but like, I don't know if this is an update that I want to regrind like 100 hours or so of gameplay on. So I was like, I'll wait and I'll see how this pans out long term, because like everyone had the same issues with the update that I did. So it was like, yeah, this will probably get patched out after enough time. And I know that season 2 came around. I think that the game is currently in season 2, at least to my knowledge it is currently. Unless season 3 has already started and I'm that out of the loop on it. But I kind of randomly, like I thought about it today because I was watching a video from someone who I like watching, and on his like best games of the year list, he was like, look, I know a lot of people are gonna be really pissed that I put it here, but I genuinely loved Diablo 4 for like the first 2 months of it being out. And I was like, yeah, you know what? Me too. And like, honestly, most of the people in my chat who had bought the game also really loved it for like the first month that it was out or so. Like it was a really good time at launch, but then because the update just felt like a downgrade to most people, a lot of people just dropped it for season 1. Fair enough. But the general sentiment around Diablo 4, like becoming that the game is just total shit, was so weird to me. Because I was like, bro, we were like collectively addicted to this game for a month straight. Like, how are you gonna act like that just never happened?
You scared? Crazy?
Kind of forgotten it exists. Me too. I think that season 1 update just really killed the game's momentum. Because, like, I haven't really thought about going back to it. I haven't heard anyone talking about it. I do think that season 1 update really hurt them. That's pain.
You scared?
I could probably take 2 more hits, let's say, before reset. You should use the old Mickey Mouse short film as an animation for the start of stream since Disney lost its rights. It is, it's so weird that Mickey Mouse, at least the very old Mickey Mouse, is now public domain. Give us the gem tab. I mean, they said, like, way back in preseason that gem tab would be season 3. Mikkel, can you do some investigation? Can you see if season 3 is out yet, or if not, when it's coming out? I know at the very least that season 2 came out. Like, I just know that I heard that season 2 was out for that. But could we get a little detective work on season 3? And the potential existence of it. Refuse to buy anything with an always online requirement. That's fair. I feel like with Diablo 4, I don't know if Blizzard would do it. I think the obvious play is that whenever they do inevitably shut servers down, just throw like offline playability on there, right? Because at that point, they're obviously well beyond supporting the game. They're not going to care if you mod it and like get your characters to max super easily. Like, you're not affecting an economy anymore. You're not playing with other people anymore. Like, who cares? That's the obvious thing to do, right? I don't think that Blizzard would do it, but Cerberus, this is a solid. Oh, I could have gotten in there. Suddenly less solid run. Hold on. Whoa, I almost lost the stagger. I think it's very safe to say that I'm in A rank territory, but I gotta run it at this point. Never mind. One extra hit will do it. It's my favorite game. All-time favorite. If I have to choose just one. If I can only choose one favorite game ever. It's really hard. I can't really choose it, but probably Resident Evil 2. Probably. It's Resident Evil 2 or like Black Ops 3. Purely for zombies, for the record, for people who don't know the lore. The campaign was shit, the multiplayer was shit, but the zombies was enough to carry it so insanely hard. franchise, if it's just favorite franchise, it's safely Resident Evil for me. I can pretty safely say that Resident Evil is my favorite game franchise. Least favorite, Breath of the Wild. Yeah, Breath of the Wild, worst game I ever played, absolutely. 100%. Yup. For sure. Speaking of that, like, best games of the year video that I watched this morning, I like this guy, and he and I normally have, like, a lot of shared opinions when it comes to games. But god damn it, dude, he put Tears of the Kingdom as his second best game of the year. It wasn't his game of the year, but it was his second place, and I was like, really? We have all these shared opinions, and then you go and say that your second favorite thing you played this year was Tears of the Kingdom? Why the Nintendo hate? The Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom hate is mostly a meme. I have 100%ed both of them for streams before. And like, I don't hate Nintendo. I really, the older Zelda games, I really love. But like Breath of the Wild and Tears, I think are a couple of really good games, but they get put up on a pedestal that they get overly praised for what they are. Especially for me, like just my 2 cents, I think that they're downgrades from the older Zelda games. I don't think that like Breath of the Wild is as strong of a game as Ocarina of Time, or even like Majora's Mask or Link to the Past. I just don't. So I criticize Breath of the Wild a lot. Like a lot. You said you dislike... Oh, yeah, I do... Like, I dislike Nintendo as, like, a company. I like their games. They still make such good games, like Mario, Zelda, Metroid. Like, they still do just make really good games. But their business practice is pretty terrible. Kirby. I haven't played the new Kirby yet. Still, I'm so late to the party on it, but the profile picture reminds me. I haven't played a Kirby since... Oh man, what was the one on DS? That was the last one I played. So, you know, it was a very long time ago when I played like the new Kirby game. But I do really like Kirby. I think that's the second hit I've taken. Not 100%. So since I'm not 100%, we'll call it the first. Superstar Ultra. Yes, that's the one. Superstar Ultra. Kirby's throat game is insane, brother. You're so wrong for that. The one thing that I always bring up, like, Kirby's underrated among Nintendo's IPs as a whole, but to be honest, it's probably because Nintendo largely neglects Kirby, in my opinion. Because it's not like they forget that Kirby is there, but it's so rare that they put in the resources to make like a new mainline Kirby. They always just make like a bunch of spin-offs and stuff. Feels wrong, the treatment that Kirby gets from Nintendo nowadays. Outside of like getting a new Switch game, which I'll play at some point, probably. But the big thing that people sleep on with Kirby, in my opinion, is that Kirby's music is so crazy good. Like, no one gives Kirby soundtracks the credit they deserve. And they deserve a lot of credit, man. I'm telling you. If you don't know, just go listen to some Kirby music sometime. It's insane how slept on Kirby's music is. I could treat Kirby better after the throat comment. I don't even want to know what you might potentially mean by that. I don't even want to know. But yeah, I do really dislike Nintendo for like business practice, but their games are really good. Which drives me crazy that that's the case, because I'm like, God damn it, Nintendo, you really make me not want to support your shit. But then you just, you know, you drop bangers that I can't not play and talk about the fact that these are good games. You know, like I wish I didn't have to give Nintendo as much praise as I do. Because like they do a poor job maintaining a lot of their IP. They do a terrible job with how they treat their communities. But that's like understatement of the decade at this point. Like I don't even, there's no need for me to explain to anyone that that's the case. You know, from the Smash tournament stuff that's been going on the last few years to like the Breath of the Wild modding situation that happened early in 2023. That happened like the week before Tears' launch, right? If I remember correctly. Wasn't that whole Breath of the Wild modding fiasco literally like the week before? Or it was at least very close to the release of it. Because I remember people like Point Crow. I almost got him confused with Small Ant, which I know the meme there, but like I genuinely do confuse the two of them all the time because I don't watch either of them personally, so it's very easy for me to confuse them. But I do know that like I think it was Point Crow like did a video talking about it, and he was just like, it's really hard for me to be excited about Tears now and like ready to support Tears' launch because like my channel just got 20 some strikes from Nintendo in one day. Like now I really don't want to support their new release. And it's like, well, yeah, I don't think anyone could blame you for that one. Luckiest parry of my life, by the way. Not intentional. All right, one more hit and it's a reset. Getting them confused. I know the meme that everyone gets them confused, but for me it's especially bad because I don't watch either of them. Their game preservation is terrible. Thank you for giving me more to dogpile on them for. This is like a very small maybe. Fuck. Just over. I knew it in the back of my head, which is why I said very small maybe. This has got to be the one. This next one, this has got to be the one. It has to be. There's no way it's not. This is the run. I've gotten like so many runs in where if I took literally one less hit during the mission, it would have been a double S. So this has to be the one now. Has to be. I wish they'd put all their games on the eShop. Well, they used to do that. Not literally all, but they used to. Remember how many like virtual console games were on the Wii? Remember that shit? Like you could just buy the N64 version of like Ocarina of Time on your Wii. That was a thing. Thank God for good hitboxes, man. That you could do. Like Nintendo used to have good preservation. They lost it along the way. I don't know what happened, but like, it's gone now. And I've said it before, right? Obviously PC, there's a much smaller need for game preservation on PC, just because like outside of older operating systems having problems, which even then like fans normally patch that anyway. You know, it's kind of just like, yeah, you got Windows, like this shit all was made for Windows, just download it. But out of like the 3 big consoles right now, you know, out of like Nintendo, Microsoft, Sony, genuinely the only publisher, or sorry, games console manufacturer, we'll go with that I can think of right now that does a good job with games preservation is Microsoft. Sony does an awful job. Nintendo does an awful job. Xbox is literally the only one right now that has good games preservation. Because like if I actually, right now, if I wanted to, I don't have the Series X, but let's say for sake of example, I own a Series X, which I don't, but let's just say I do. What I do have is a physical disc from 2001 of Halo Combat Evolved. I could walk up to my Xbox Series X, put the disc in, and it would play. Neither Nintendo nor Sony even come remotely close to it, which is wild because it's not even like they do an outstanding job. Like, it's just kind of like, yeah, you'd kind of hope they do that. But the fact that they are the only one that does that anymore is crazy. Like, yeah, even Xbox has like a limited selection, but at the very least, they have a selection of games that are fully perfectly emulatable on their modern system, like their current system, from the OG console. And they're constantly adding games to the library. And if the games are emulatable, then they throw them up on the digital marketplace as well, even if you don't have a disc. It's just like, dude, how are they the only ones that have anything even good right now in terms of games preservation? Because don't even get me started on the Sony stuff. The Nintendo stuff pisses me off, but don't even get me started on the Sony stuff. The PlayStation game preservation, it's not the worst. I think Nintendo has the worst of the 3, but Sony's is just like insulting. I watched a guy try it and it didn't play through. What do you mean it didn't play through? Because like I'm not on the Series X, but I did have the Xbox One, and I used it for most of that console generation. And I never had backwards compatibility issues on it, but maybe the new console has new problems? Did good until PS4, exactly. And then for PS4, they just had nothing for years, like no games preservation from older systems. And then when they did bring it out, they brought out a yearly subscription, yearly or monthly, but you know, they brought out like a, let's go with monthly, a monthly subscription service that if you do pay for it, you don't even get actual downloadable emulated versions of the games that are in the limited library. You get to stream that game over Wi-Fi, Ethernet, over internet from like Sony's headquarters to your console with no updates or improvements whatsoever, running as it would on a PS3. And even then, like most people nowadays, it's kind of coming around, but even then it's still pretty limited. Most people, especially during the PS4's life cycle, did not have internet that was fast enough for that, to like actually be able to smoothly play the game beginning to end on that. Very few people actually had that. In terms of like, you know, your everyday PlayStation consumer, most people just don't have internet that's going to be able to stably stream a whole game from beginning to end. You can download PS2 games. Is that new? Or has it always been like that? Because I never heard the PS2 game download thing. Why specifically PS2? Like, if I can download PS2, then why are PS1 and 3 both streamed? That's so weird. They went back to add PS Plus to PS3. Wait, they did what? They made it paid on PS3 after the PS4 came out? I never even heard about this because I barely ever used my PS3. When I do use my PS3, you know what I use it for? Very on topic, right? You know what I do use my PS3 for whenever I use it? It's to play my PS1 discs like in the living room and use a wireless controller. Because the PS3, you can just pop a PS1 disc in, boom, plays. So I'll go play like the old Resident Evils or Silent Hill or Crash Bandicoot, who knows what. I mean, now Crash Bandicoot Insane Trilogy exists, but... And even then, I've gotten more into like PC emulation, especially with DuckStation. DuckStation is amazing. I was always kind of into it for years. Like for PS1 stuff specifically. But dude, DuckStation was such a game changer in the PS1 emulation scene. Like we went from having really good emulation to having like almost always stable emulation. I don't even have time for another run of this mission. I got one more in me. Shit, I have Beowulf on. They figured out how to convert it for PS4. But why? I don't get it. I don't get it. Like, if that's the case, and they did put in the time to get the PS2 stuff working, then why did they only put in the time for the PS2 stuff? Why did they stop after that? It's so weird to me. Found out when I wanted to play BO2 multiplayer. Oh my god. Was this recent, Mikkel? Or was this like a long time ago? Makes no sense to me either. Oh wait, but they can't play disc. What? So you can download them natively, but you still can't play them off of a disc? Yeah, Sony's is like... I think Sony's is more frustrating than Nintendo's because there's like more effort being put in, but you don't really get much more out of it as a consumer compared to like Nintendo. Like Sony definitely puts a little more effort in, but it doesn't even feel like you get anything that's a whole lot better than Nintendo. I mean, to be fair, Nintendo mostly just kind of ignores their old stuff. Or when they don't, more recently at least, they do the Sony thing where they go for like a yearly subscription model with like the what's it called, Nintendo Online expansion packs now that they have for like the N64 and the Game Boy. Oops. Okay. Could identify PS2 games but not play them. Yeah, the PS3 was kind of weird still. But the PS4 was where it went to shit in terms of preservation. I don't know what happened.
You scared?
Shit. Okay, we're fine. I was like, I do not want to be here right now. Oops. Yeah, I was trying to skip that. I was a little early. Oh, onto the mic. My bad. Greed happened. Yeah. Sony. You know what's frustrating about Sony is Jim Ryan left a few months back, right? Like I think like half a year ago now. Wasn't it back in like June or something that he left? I could be misremembering. But Jim Ryan left a while ago. I don't think it was actually that long ago, now that I think about it. But they've continued to make bad decisions, at least in terms of like, you know, user experience and stuff. I thought when Jim Ryan left that it was, you know, gonna be a positive for PlayStation overall. But it honestly, so far, doesn't even feel like anything changed in terms of their leadership. It feels the same. Like, I've noticed nothing different about just the way that they generally go about their business practices yet. Which obviously there's a lot more people high up than the CEO. But, you know, the CEO is like the higher up of the higher ups. They really do. I guess the best way to put it is like set the tone for the rest of the leadership in a company. So at least so far, it's been really unfortunate to not see things change after Jim Ryan leaving. Triggered me with the Final Fantasy VII remake. That's not a remake, but is a sad attempt to prove that Kingdom Hearts is a good game. I think what they're doing with the remake is really dope, to be honest. The only part, like as someone who's not a Final Fantasy fan, like doesn't have the nostalgia attachment. I mean, it is a remake, right? It's actually a proper remake. It just somehow goes even further towards the definition of proper remake than the average proper remake does. Like, I respect the crazy balls on Square for the approach that they took with Final Fantasy VII. The only thing that I don't love is that it's being split into a trilogy, right? But honestly, from what I know about it so far, it doesn't even seem like it's like unreasonable for it to be split into multiple different games, like into a full trilogy of its own. Because it seems like what part one delivered would be more than enough to be like a satisfying product. I'm trying to think. In just on its own, right? If it were in a vacuum, that is. It seems like there's definitely more than enough for it to be like a satisfying RPG to pay full price for. It does mean that, you know, fans have waited years for part two, which is right around the corner. It's a sequel, not a remake. I mean, it's both from what I know, because isn't it like not until, from what I've heard at least, like the third act of the game that things start to deviate like a good bit. At least that's what I've heard, is that for the majority of remake, it is the same, or at least largely the same. Oops. I think that's the second hit of the run. We're still in the money for double S, I'm pretty sure. What the? Okay. I was spamming it, but I figured it would interact with the door, not wall run me. Play the original. Someday, Final Fantasy is on the list for a review series at this point. I was going to stream through all of them, and I did stream through the original. But then, like, very shortly after that, I started the Armored Core series. And then when that was doing well, and I was like, oh, this could be, like, my new thing, because I like doing this, and people like these videos. I put Final Fantasy on hold so that it could be a series of videos rather than a series of streams. I felt like it would be better used for that. Hold on now. Shit. Why did I do that? Oh. Screw it. Uh-oh. Okay. Okay. Hold on now. The one thing I might be worried about is actually my stylish points, if anything. But fingers crossed. Oh, we're good. Oh, we're so good. You know what? I'm glad I went 2 minutes over time for this one. I was really like, damn, I spent the entire stream attempting this one mission and I never got it. Now at least you can say that I spent the entire stream doing one mission. I at least pulled it out of my ass on the very last run over time. Ugh, that mission was so hard to do perfectly. Through for content all this time, just wanted to milk the mission. No, it actually just took that many repeats to do one good run where I didn't mess it up. Jesus Christ. Anyway, I gotta get back to working on what I still, as of Thursday, January 4th, believe is my favorite video I've ever made. So, allow me to get back to it. After dinner, of course. I'm gonna go make food. Anyway, it is about that time. So, I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did enjoy and you haven't done so already, feel free to go ahead and leave a sub. Come back another time. We're doing this. We're doing Armored Core 100%. We're doing Ace Combat games on the hardest difficulty. We're doing... Shit, what are we doing? The Metal Gear games 100% now. I've properly started that up now that I'm like a few games in on the reviews. I feel like I actually have a good buffer for it. So we've started that. There's one that I'm missing. Oh yeah, GTA 5. GTA 5 has been a blast for the most part. The collectibles are not so fun, but everything outside of that is great. Classic Rockstar game, am I right? Anyway. Also, if you enjoyed, feel free to go ahead and leave a like. Helps out a lot with algorithm and stuff, so I'd appreciate it. Thank you if you've done so already. Thank you if you're about to do so. If you're looking for links to anything outside of stream to engage with the community, feel free to check out stuff in the description below. Things like Twitter, Discord server, TikTok, anything like that. It's all down there. Also, before you leave, in the pinned message, I linked the Metal Gear review series. If you're not caught up on the 3 videos so far, Metal Gear 1, Snake's Revenge, Metal Gear 2, feel free to check those out. They're all pretty good, actually. I like all those videos in terms of how the videos came out. For a second, I was like, do I? I do. I like all 3 of those videos. Sometimes I'm not happy with particular videos, but all 3 of those are good so far. I have no complaints yet. Other than that, once again, I hope you guys enjoyed. I'll be back here next time. I hope you all have a great rest of your day. Thank you for coming to the stream, and goodbye.